When it comes to intimacy, most men think it's just about physical performance. But here's the truth: satisfying a woman starts in the mind, not the bedroom. Women are wired differently, and understanding how they think, feel, and connect is the real secret to making her feel desired and fulfilled. If you've ever wondered why some men effortlessly make women feel special while others struggle, the answer lies in psychology, not luck. This isn't about tricks or cheesy pickup lines. It's about learning what truly makes her feel safe, valued, and excited. Because once you know how to connect with her emotions, everything else flows naturally. Imagine being the man who doesn't just touch her body, but reaches into her soul. That's what female psychology reveals: the subtle, powerful keys to unlocking her deepest satisfaction. And trust me, once you master this, she'll never forget the way you make her feel. So let's dive into the truth most men never hear, but every woman secretly wishes they knew. 1. Emotional connection comes before physical satisfaction. Most men rush into the physical, believing that satisfying her is purely about performance between the sheets. But here's the catch: for women, intimacy starts long before the bedroom. A woman's mind is her most powerful sexual organ. And if you don't know how to connect with her emotions first, no amount of physical effort will ever make her truly satisfied. Emotional connection is the foundation, and without it, everything else feels empty or forced. Think about it. When a woman feels emotionally safe, understood, and valued, her guard comes down. She relaxes, she opens up, and she allows herself to be vulnerable with you. That vulnerability is where real intimacy begins. You don't create this by flashing money, flexing muscles, or memorizing some pickup line. You create it by actually being present with her, listening to her thoughts, validating her feelings, and showing her that you see her as more than just her body. Women can sense when a man is genuine versus when he's just trying to get something from them. And once she feels that you truly care, she'll naturally lean into you, physically and emotionally. It's about the little things: paying attention to the details she shares, remembering her favorite drink, noticing when she's stressed, or simply holding her hand without expecting anything in return. These small gestures tell her, "I've got you." And when a woman feels secure with you, she's not only more likely to trust you, but she's also more willing to explore deeper levels of intimacy with you. That's when satisfaction transforms from a fleeting physical act into a lasting emotional bond. Too many men make the mistake of thinking passion is just about attraction. But the truth is, for a woman, passion grows out of connection. A man who takes the time to learn her mind will always have the upper hand over the one who only focuses on her body. Because here's the reality: a woman who feels emotionally neglected will eventually lose interest, no matter how good you think you are in bed. But a woman who feels emotionally cherished will crave you, your touch, your presence, your energy. So the first step in satisfying her is not physical at all, it's psychological. Build trust, show empathy, be attentive. Once you've captured her heart and mind, her body will follow effortlessly. And that's when satisfaction becomes not just possible, but unforgettable. 2, foreplay isn't optional, it's the key. Here's where most men mess up. They think foreplay is just a warm up, a quick pit stop before the real thing. But let me be blunt: for women, foreplay is the real thing. It's not something you rush through, it's the very process that unlocks her excitement, desire, and deep satisfaction. If you want her to feel fully alive in your presence, you need to understand that her body and mind don't switch on like a light bulb. They build slowly and beautifully, like a fire being stoked. Foreplay isn't just about physical touch. It's the teasing glances you give her across the room, the subtle brush of your hand against hers, the playful whisper that makes her heart skip. It starts hours before the bedroom, sometimes even days. Women love anticipation. When you learn to create that buildup, you're not only exciting her physically, but also engaging her imagination, which is where her true desire lives. A simple text in the middle of her busy day, something flirty, something that reminds her she's on your mind. Those little things become mental foreplay. And when her mind is aroused, her body naturally follows. Now let's talk about the physical side. Women crave being touched with intention, not rushed or mechanical movements. Slow kisses, gentle caresses, exploring her body with curiosity instead of impatience. These things make her feel worshipped. Pay attention to her reactions. If she leans into your touch, lingers in your kiss, or breathes a little heavier, that's her way of saying, yes, keep going. Women are highly responsive when they feel you're in tune with their needs. And here's the golden rule: if you make her feel like she's the only woman in the world at that moment, she'll respond with passion you didn't even know she had. Foreplay is also about emotional intensity. Eye contact, soft words, laughter, even the silence you share while holding her close. These are powerful forms of intimacy. They tell her she's not just an object of your desire, but the center of your attention. That shift alone can make her feel more desired than any physical act ever could. The truth is, when you invest in foreplay, you're telling her, I value your pleasure as much as my own. And that is incredibly attractive. Women don't forget the men who make them feel desired, cherished, and satisfied long before the act even begins. So stop rushing. Slow down. Master foreplay like an art, and you'll unlock a level of passion that turns ordinary moments into unforgettable experiences. 3. Confidence is the ultimate turn on. If emotional connection is the foundation and foreplay is the spark, then confidence is the fire that keeps everything burning. Let's be clear. Confidence is not arrogance. It's not about bragging, flexing, or acting like you're God's gift to women. True confidence is calm, steady, and undeniable. It's the quiet assurance in your presence, the way you carry yourself, and the way you make her feel safe in your energy. Women are hardwired to respond to confidence because it signals strength, stability, and certainty, all qualities that make her feel both secure and excited around you. Think about it. When you walk into a room, does your energy say, I hope they like me? Or does it say, I know who I am and I belong here? A confident man doesn't need to seek approval because his value doesn't depend on validation from others. That's what makes him magnetic. A woman can feel it in the way you speak, measured, clear, and direct. She can see it in the way you move, relaxed, not rushed, not fidgety. She can sense it in your touch, firm, assured, never hesitant. That energy alone can arouse her before you even lay a hand on her body. Confidence also means taking the lead. Most women love when a man knows what he wants and isn't afraid to guide the moment. It doesn't mean being controlling. It means creating a space where she can let go, knowing you've got everything handled. Whether it's making a plan for the night, initiating a kiss, or leading her hand across the dance floor, these small actions show her you're in control of yourself and the situation. And when she feels your certainty, she relaxes into you even more. But here's the twist: confidence isn't just external, it's internal. It's how you view yourself when no one's watching. If deep down you don't believe you're worthy, women will sense it. They're incredibly intuitive. That's why real confidence comes from self respect, discipline, and purpose. When you have goals, when you're proud of the man you are, when you don't settle for mediocrity, that energy radiates. And trust me, women notice. Here's the bottom line: you don't have to be perfect to be confident. You just have to own who you are, flaws and all, and move through the world with authenticity. Because confidence isn't about being the loudest man in the room, it's about being the one she can't take her eyes off, simply because you believe in yourself. And once she feels that, satisfying her becomes effortless because your confidence alone is already turning her on. 4. Communication is the hidden ingredient. Here's a truth most men ignore: you can't satisfy her if you don't understand her, and you can't understand her without communication. Too many men assume they know what women want, guessing in the dark, following cliches, or worse, letting pride stop them from asking. But the reality is simple: every woman is unique. What thrills one may bore another. What makes her melt today may not be the same tomorrow. And the only way to truly unlock her satisfaction is by talking to her, listening to her, and paying attention to what she's actually saying, verbally and non-verbally. Communication isn't just asking questions in bed like it's an interview. It's about creating an environment where she feels comfortable expressing herself without judgment. When a woman feels safe to open up about her desires, fantasies, or even her insecurities, you've just stepped into a deeper level of intimacy than most men ever reach. You become the man she trusts with not only her body, but her truth. That trust is a powerful aphrodisiac because now she knows you're not just there for yourself, you're there for both of you. Pay attention to her feedback, both spoken and unspoken. Does she lean into your kiss or pull away slightly? Does her breathing quicken when you touch a certain spot? Does her body language scream yes, even if her words are soft? Women often communicate more through subtle signals than direct words, and a man who can read those signals instantly becomes unforgettable. This is why presence matters. If your mind is elsewhere, thinking about yourself, your performance, or distractions, you'll miss the cues she's giving you. But if you're tuned into her, truly locked in, she'll feel seen and understood in a way that most men never provide. And don't underestimate the power of verbal connection. Whispering in her ear, telling her how much you desire her, praising the little things about her, these words carry weight. Women crave reassurance, not in a needy way, but because it deepens the emotional and physical bond. Compliments, encouragement, even playful teasing, these all keep her energy alive and connected to you. At the core, communication is respect. It says, your pleasure matters as much as mine. That mindset alone will set you apart from the majority of men who never bother to ask, to listen, or to adapt. When she feels her voice is heard and her desires are prioritized, she'll not only be satisfied, she'll crave more of you over and over again. 5. Patience is power. If there's one thing that separates men who leave women wanting more from those who leave them disappointed, it's patience. Most men rush. They rush the conversation, they rush the touch, they rush the moment. They treat intimacy like a race with a finish line, when in reality, for women, it's more like a journey. Slow, winding, filled with little details that make the destination worth it. And here's the truth. If you can learn to slow down, to stretch every moment, you'll unlock a level of satisfaction she's probably never experienced before. Patience isn't about delaying pleasure, it's about building intensity. Think of it like this. When you rush, the fire burns fast but dies quickly. When you move with patience, the flame grows slowly, steadily until it consumes her completely. That's when she feels fully alive in your arms. Women don't want you to check a box. They want to feel like you're savoring them, like you're enjoying every second as much as they are. Your patience tells her she's worth the time, that you're not just there for yourself, but for the experience you're creating together. This shows up in every part of the interaction. Don't rush her emotions. Let her talk. Let her open up. Let her feel comfortable. Don't rush her body. Explore slowly. Kiss slowly. Touch slowly. Each second you hold back, each moment you linger, is like adding another layer of anticipation that drives her wild. Women crave that suspense, that buildup, because it heightens everything when the moment finally arrives. Patience also means not getting frustrated when things don't go perfectly. Maybe she's tired, maybe she's distracted, maybe she just needs more time to get into the mood. A man with patience doesn't complain, doesn't pressure, doesn't sulk. He adapts, he reassures, he stays calm. And that calmness, it makes her trust you even more. It tells her she can relax because you're not just chasing release, you're invested in her experience. That's where true intimacy thrives. And here's the kicker. When you're patient, she often becomes the one who can't wait anymore. She'll start pulling you closer, begging for more because the anticipation you've built is irresistible. You flip the dynamic. Instead of you chasing her, she's craving you. That's the magic of patience. It doesn't just satisfy her, it makes her hunger for you in ways you've never imagined. So remember this. Slow down. Let the journey breathe. Patience isn't weakness. It's the ultimate demonstration of strength, control, and mastery. And when you master patience, she'll never see you as just another man. She'll see you as the one who finally understood her. 6. Variety keeps the spark alive. One of the biggest mistakes men make is falling into routine. Repetition kills excitement. Doing the same thing over and over might feel safe, but for her, it becomes predictable. And predictability is the enemy of passion. Women crave novelty, not because they're hard to please, but because their desire is deeply tied to emotions, imagination, and experience. When you keep things fresh and unpredictable, you don't just satisfy her body, you keep her mind engaged, her heart racing, and her curiosity alive. Think of it this way. If every date looks the same, if every touch feels identical, if every moment follows the same script, eventually it loses its magic. She doesn't want a routine. She wants an adventure. That doesn't mean you need to reinvent the wheel every day, but it does mean being creative, playful, and willing to explore. Try new things together. Different locations, different atmospheres, even something as simple as changing the music or the mood lighting. These small shifts tell her you're not just going through the motions, you're invested in keeping the fire burning. Variety also applies to how you touch her and how you communicate. Sometimes she craves slow, tender intimacy. Other times she may want passion, intensity, and raw energy. The key is to pay attention and adapt. Be unpredictable in the best way. Surprise her with a kiss when she least expects it. Whisper something bold into her ear when the moment feels ordinary. Create contrasts, gentle one moment, fierce the next, so she never quite knows what's coming, but she's always excited to find out. Another layer of variety is mental and emotional stimulation. Talk about things you've never talked about before. Share your dreams, your fears, your fantasies. Invite her to share hers. A woman's satisfaction is tied not just to her body, but to her mind. When you keep her mentally engaged, when you surprise her with new sides of yourself, you remind her that she's with a man who has depth, a man who will never bore her. And boredom, more than anything else, is what drains attraction. Here's the truth. Routine is easy, but variety is what creates obsession. When she never knows what version of you she'll get, the playful you, the romantic you, the passionate you, she stays intrigued. That intrigue keeps her coming back, craving more. So don't settle for being predictable. Be the man who constantly keeps her on her toes, who turns ordinary moments into unforgettable ones. That's how you not only satisfy her, but also keep her addicted to you. 7. Aftercare seals. The experience. Most men think satisfaction ends when the physical act is over. They roll over, grab their phone, or fall asleep, believing the job is done. But here's the truth. For a woman, what you do after intimacy can be just as important as what you did before or during. This is where most men fail, and this is where you can stand out. Aftercare is the secret ingredient that makes her feel cherished, safe, and truly fulfilled long after the passion fades. Aftercare isn't complicated. It's about presence. It's about showing her that she's not just a body you used, but a woman you value. Holding her close, kissing her forehead, running your fingers through her hair, these small gestures tell her, I'm still here with you, you matter. It's the reassurance that she's more than just an object of desire. Women remember how they feel in your arms afterwards more than they remember the technical details of what just happened. And if she feels secure, loved, and appreciated, she will associate intimacy with joy, not emptiness. This is also where communication deepens the bond. Whisper something soft. Tell her how much you enjoyed being with her. Compliment the way she made you feel. For women, words linger. They echo in their minds long after the night ends. A simple, you're incredible, or I love how connected I feel to you can make her glow for days. It's not about being overly dramatic. It's about being genuine. Sincerity builds emotional intimacy, and emotional intimacy fuels long-term passion. Aftercare also means attentiveness. Maybe she needs water, maybe she wants to lie in silence, maybe she wants to talk. Pay attention. Don't disappear into your own world as if the moment is over. For her, it isn't. By being present, you're proving that her satisfaction wasn't just about physical release, it was about connection. That connection is what will make her trust you, desire you, and come back for more. And here's the powerful truth. Aftercare is what separates a fling from something unforgettable. Any man can satisfy her body once. Very few men satisfy her soul. When you take the time to nurture her after, to let her feel safe in your arms, she won't just think of you as a partner, she'll see you as the man who finally understood her. And that is where true satisfaction lives. So remember this. Don't end the experience the second it's over. Extend it. Seal it. Because the man who knows how to give aftercare isn't just a lover. He's the man she'll never forget. The art of true satisfaction. At the end of the day, satisfying a woman isn't about tricks, formulas, or ego-driven performances. It's about understanding that her satisfaction is a blend of mind, heart, and body. And only men who master all three can truly give her what she craves. If you follow the 7 points, you'll notice a theme running through them all: presence, patience, connection, and care. That's because women don't separate the physical from the emotional the way many men do. For her, it's one experience, one energy, one journey. And if you can guide her through that journey, she'll never forget how you made her feel. Think about it. You started by building emotional connection, proving you're more than just a man after her body. You learned that foreplay is essential, not optional, and that anticipation is half the magic. You understood that confidence, not arrogance, but steady, grounded assurance, makes her feel safe and excited in your presence. Then you saw how communication bridges the gap between guessing and truly knowing, allowing her to open up to you in ways that deepen intimacy. Add to that the strength of patience, which transforms quick moments into unforgettable ones, and the spice of variety, which keeps the fire alive and prevents routine from killing desire. Finally, you closed with aftercare, the act that proves you're not just a lover of her body, but a guardian of her heart. Put these together, and what do you have? You become the man she doesn't just want, you become the man she remembers. The man who made her feel seen, desired, and valued on every level. The man who wasn't afraid to slow down, to listen, to lead, to explore, and to love with intention. That's rare. That's powerful. And that's why once you understand female psychology in this way, you'll never look at intimacy the same again. Here's the raw truth most men never realize. Satisfying a woman isn't about lasting longer, being bigger, or performing better than anyone else. It's about making her feel like she is the only woman in the world when she's with you. It's about creating an experience that goes beyond the physical and touches her soul. And once you've done that, she won't compare you to anyone else because no one else will measure up. So stop rushing, stop guessing, stop thinking satisfaction is just a physical act. Learn her mind, connect to her heart, explore her body with patience and passion, and seal every moment with care. Do this, and you'll never have to ask, did I satisfy her? Because her smile, her glow, and her craving for more will give you the answer every single time.